In this video, we are going to discuss partial quotients. Partial quotients is a method in which can be used to divide numbers. For example, let's look at the number 4,826, and let's divide that by 6. 4,826 is our dividend, and 6 is our divisor. So the way that we would set up a partial quotients problem would look very similar to the standard algorithm, where we have our dividend on the inside and our 6 on the outside. The difference is we're going to draw this line going down the side. Some methods choose to stack on top. We're going to go down the side here. Any division problem is a repeated subtraction, or we're looking at how many groups of 6 can I make out of 4,826, or it can also be looked at how many from 4,826, how many would go into each group if there were 6 groups. So we're going to view it that way, as if there were 6 groups, and I want to take 4,826 and divide it evenly into those 6 groups. One way to look at this is to look at place value and say, okay, I have 4 thousands, 8 hundreds, 2 tens, and 6 ones. And you can almost visualize a picture of that. So I'm just going to look at my thousands because I'd like to get the biggest numbers out first. So I have 4 thousands. That is not enough for me to put 1,000 in each of the 6 groups. So then I'm going to focus on the first 2 digits. So 4 thousands is the same as 40 hundreds, and then I have 800. So this is 4,800. I want to know how many hundreds. So if I have 4,800 or 48, 6 times what number is going to get me really close to that 48 without going over. And 6 times 8 is 48, which is exact. So that would get me 48. But I don't want 48. I want 4,800. So I know that 6 times 800 is 4,800. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract. And I'm left with just 26. So I was able to get rid of all of my thousands, all of my hundreds. Now I'm only left with 2 tens and 6 ones. Well, 2 tens isn't enough to put 1 10 in each of the 6 groups. So I'm going to look at the 26 as ones. And I know that 6 times 4 is 24. So I can put 4 ones in each of the 6 groups, meaning that I will have divided up or gotten rid of 24 of them, leaving me with 2 left over. Those 2 ones are not enough to put in each of the 6 groups. So I know that I was able to put 800 and a 4 in each group. So I was able to put 800, 4. So we're going to add up our partial quotients. And then I have these 2 left over. So that serves as our remainder. So let's look at another problem. Let's look at 3,561, and we're going to go ahead and divide that by 4. So again, when I view this, I have my dividend of 3,561. My divisor is 4. So I'm going to take these 3,561 things, and I want to put them into 4 groups. If I view this as 3 thousands, 5 hundreds, 6 tens, and 1 1, I can see that I don't have enough thousands to put 1 in each of the 4 groups. So I'm going to have to focus on hundreds. And I have 35 hundreds. So 4 can go into 35, or I can split that 35 by 4, and I know that it can go in 8 times, or I can put 8 in each group to get 32. But again, that's not a 32, it's a 3,200 or a 3,200, which means that this is an 800. Because 4 times 8 is 32, 4 times 80 is 320, and 4 times 800 is 3,200. So I can subtract. And now I'm left with 361, so I have 3 hundreds, 6 tens, 1 1 left that I need to put into these 4 groups. Again, the 3 hundreds is not enough to put 1 in each group, so I'm going to focus on how many tens I have. So I have 36 tens, and I want to know 4 can go into 36 how many times, or I can take that 36 and how many would go into each of the 4 groups, and that would be 9. But those are 9 tens, making it 90. So 9 times 4 is 36. Then 90 times 4 is 360. And subtract, and I have that 1. So I was able to put 800 in a group, and then I was able to put another 90 in a group. So total, I was able to put 890 in each group, and then I have this one left over. So my answer is 890, remainder 1. So again, we just added the partial quotients that we took out, and our remainder is what was left over. Always make sure that your remainder is less than your divisor, and if so, chances are you're on the right track. We're going to do one more, just for the sake of repetition. It's always nice to see a problem multiple times. So let's look at one more number. Let's look at 6,204, and we're going to divide that by 5. So I have my dividend is 6,204. My divisor is 5. So I'm going to think of this. I have 6,000s, 200s, 0 10s, 4 1s. With this 6 being here, I have enough thousands to put 1 in each of the 5 groups. So I know that I can put 1,000 in each group. And that's going to give me 5,000, because 1,000 times 5 is 5,000. And what that's really saying is, if I put 1,000 in each of the 5 groups, there's 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000 plus 1,000, giving me 5,000. So now I'm left with 1,204. This 1,000 is not enough to put in each of the 5 groups. So I'm going to look at how many hundreds I have. And I have 12 hundreds. So if I have 12 hundreds pieces and I want to put them in each of the 5 groups, how many can go there? Well, I can put 2 in each of the groups, and those are hundreds pieces, so it's going to be 200. So 5 times 2 is 10, and then you can see I needed to put 2 more zeros in, which are the 2 zeros here. We're left with 204. So I have 200s. Again, that's not enough to put 100 in each of the groups, so I'm going to look at how many 10s I have. Well, I didn't originally have any 10s here, but when I break these 200s up, I'm going to have 20 10s. And those 20 10s split into 5 groups is going to allow me to put 4 10s in each group, which has a value of 40. 4 times 5 is 20. And 40 times 5 is 200. I subtract, and I'm left with 4. 4 is not enough to put 1 in each group, so I know I'm finished. My remainder is less than my divisor, so I'm going to add up. Again, because I was able to put 1,000 in each group, then I put 200 in each group, then I put 40 in each group. So total, I was able to put 1,240 in each group with a remainder of 4 left over. That's it for this video. If you have any more questions, please ask your teacher.